Hello again, welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to see how we can find the equation of a line from a given function on the graph. But first, what do we actually mean by the equation of a line? Well, it's the same as the first degree equation, or it's also called the linear equation. The reason it's called the first degree equation is because the highest degree of the variable x in that equation is 1. That's why it's called the first degree equation or linear equation. Let's see an example here. So one of the examples can be y is equal to 2x plus 3. Or as a general form, I can rewrite it as y is equal to mx plus b, where the m in that equation is the slope and the b is the y-intercept. But what is a y-intercept? It's actually a point where it crosses the vertical axis. So any point on this graph where it crosses the vertical axis, so for instance, let's say I have a function such as like this point right here where it crosses the vertical axis or the y-axis is called the y-intercept, and the point where it crosses the x-axis right here is called the x-intercept. Okay, alright. And the slope, which is m, is equal to rise over run. What do we actually mean by rise over run? We mean that if I have a line with a slope, for instance, let's say 2 over 3, so this 2 tells us the rise and this 3 tells us the run. Okay, and I have a point, for instance, with coordinates 1 and 1 on this graph, as it's shown right here. It says the next point on that line going to be 2 units higher than this point, okay, and 3 units to the right of this point. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be right here. And now I can draw or kind of graph my line. And this line going to have a slope of 2 over 3. Let's now apply what we've learned here and try to find the equations of the lines of these 3 graphs. So first of all, let's find the y-intercept. The y-intercept is the point where it crosses the vertical axis or the y-axis. This point right here is 2. So now I know my b is 2. And I know that the equation, the general form of the equation is as mx plus b. So now I found my b, now I need my m. For finding m, I need 2 points, and the difference between the y-axis over x-axis is going to give me the slope. So, or in other words, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This means that choose 2 points on the line, for instance this one and this one. So I chose both the x-intercept and y-intercept because they are easy to calculate, because they have one coordinate of 0. So this is going to give me what? So it doesn't really matter which point of these 2 you pick up as your point 1 or point 2. It does not really matter. So let's say this is my point 2 and this is point 1. So point 2, its y coordinate is 2 minus the y coordinate of point 1 is 0, and the x coordinate of the second point is 0 minus the x coordinate of the first point is negative 2. So in total it's going to be 2 over 2, which is 1. So now I can write the equation of a line as x plus 2, because m is 1, so I can just ignore it, and b is 2 because the y-intercept is 2 and the line crosses the vertical axis at point 0, 2. And for this one right here, now I know that b, which is the y-intercept, is 0, and if I pick up, like if I just pick 2 points on this line, I choose these 2. So this is the point 2, 3, and this is the point 0, 0. So for finding the slope, I only need 2 points where I can calculate the difference between the y coordinates over x coordinates. So if I pick this as my second point and this is my first point, it does not really matter again which point of these 2 you're going to choose as your first or second point. So this one going to be 3, its y coordinate minus the y coordinate of the first point, going to be 0, and the x coordinate of the second point minus the first point is going to be 0, so the slope is 3 over 2. And the general equation going to be mx, which is 3 over 2 times x, plus b, which is 0, or simply I can write it as 3 over 2 x. This is about this one. Now let's try to do, or kind of change, the second point with the first one, just to show you that it does not really matter if you choose that point as your second one or first one. So if I choose this one as my as my second point right here, or basically as my first point, because I chose that as my second point, now I'm going to choose it as my first one, and this is the second one right here. So it's going to be as follows. So m is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this is going to give me what? So this is going to give me 0 minus 3 over 0 minus 2, which is going to give me negative 3 over negative 2, which is the same as 3 over 2, as we found right here or here. So the last one we got here. So the y-intercept, which is b, or y-intercept is negative 4. I will choose the x-intercept and y-intercept as 2 points of the line where I'm going to calculate the slope, which is the difference in y coordinates over x coordinates, or rise over run, you can say. And this is going to give me what? So I'm going to choose this one as my first, my second point, and this one as my first point. So this one going to be 0 minus, and this is negative 4, so it's going to be negative 4, and this one, its x coordinates is negative 3, and this one is 0, so it's going to be negative 4 over 3. So this one about this one, and its general equation going to be negative 4 over 3x negative 4.